All right, let's do this. Welcome one, welcome all to The Chronic Atheist, the podcast where a manic, depressive, non-binary atheist talks about life, chronic illness, mental health, and anything else that seems germane at the time. First takes only unless I screw up. This podcast is a product of Mayhem and Foolishness Productions, contains my opinions only, and contains nor attempts to imply nor should peer from be inferred any actual medical expertise or anything other than just my experience and opinions. This podcast, are you listening closely, is not for children. A great number of trigger warnings should be inferred, because, quite frankly, I ain't got time to list them all. All right, you're still here. Well, in that case, you're either one of the handful of people who've been with me from the beginning, or you're that one interesting person from Hawaii who showed up in my metrics a couple of weeks ago. So, greetings, salutations, and possibly aloha, I suppose. Okay. There's no breaking news here for most of y'all. But I am about to talk about some stuff that I haven't, at least to the best of my recollection, mentioned before. So, strap in. This could be a bumpy flight. Those of you who've been with me from the beginning, or who have slogged through the archives at this point, remember that this podcast kicked off last spring, I think. I think it was early 2021, during the great medical mystery tour that turned out to be massive sinusitis, as far as anybody could tell, but was almost assuredly something else. I'm here to talk about almost assuredly something else. There's, as you all know by now, we are still under the iron and ever-changing fist of a catastrophic worldwide pandemic that has affected essentially the entire globe in essentially every conceivable way, and has killed so many people, and irreparably damaged either physically or psychologically or both countless more. I myself was... this is going to sound so stupid. I myself was never formally diagnosed with the plague, but during the Great Medical Mystery Tour, I did receive one inconclusive test result while experiencing essentially all the symptoms. And because I recently, and I say recently, like within the last couple of weeks, so since the last episode, which come to find out was almost, if not more than, an entire fucking month ago, thank you for rejoining me, the world's most unreliably scheduled podcast. I recently was able to acknowledge to myself some of the lasting effects of whatever it was that I went through at the beginning of the Great Medical Mystery Tour. I lost the vast majority of my sense of taste. I still have some sense of taste. I can taste very, very sweet. I can taste very, very spicy. That's essentially it. Everything else either just sort of tastes meh, or really and truly does taste like what I imagine dirt would taste like. It's not pleasant. As a lot of you know, my issues with food are significant and of pretty long standing. This has not helped. Eating has for a long time been something I had to remind myself to do. It's now something I have to make myself do most of the time. And that doesn't help. So there's that. What I really wanted to talk about, though, today is another lingering effect. Y'all, you're about to hear a very distinctive sound effect. You know what it is. Don't do it. It's stupid. I know it will one day kill me, more than likely. All reality, none of it scripted. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about is the brain fog, because the brain fog continues. A year later, I'm still dealing with almost the same amount of brain fog that I was at the height of Ye Olde Medical Mystery Tour. I wasn't for a long time willing to admit it to myself. But I was recently hanging out with one of my oldest friends who we realized while we were talking I had not fully brought up to speed on what I've gone through over the course of the past year. And in the process of explaining to him everything, I found myself realizing everything and really letting it register in my head for the first time. I had to admit it to myself. So then it was a little while before I was able to bring myself to tell my partner, because that meant really solidly admitting it to myself and letting it cement itself and go through it again. And now Well, now, God damn it, now it's time to come clean. I don't love that phrase, but I don't know a better way to put it. The brain fog is seriously problematic. It affects my ability to think and to process and to focus. I can't enjoy reading for any significant period of time anymore. If you follow me on the various media's social, you've seen pictures of my bookshelves. You may even have interacted with the hashtag Judge Me By My Bookshelf. And if you know me in real life, you know that's a teeny tiny fraction of the scope of the actual collection. And now I can't focus good enough to really enjoy reading much of anything for long enough for it to really count. It's fucking frustrating is what it is. I can't focus long enough to watch a goddamn YouTube video for that's more than a certain length. And when I say more than a certain length, that varies pretty wildly from day to day. It is distressing. And it has made a significant impact on my ability to enjoy day-to-day life. And that may be one of the reasons why I reacted so poorly to The Good Doctor, as I spoke about, I think it was in the last episode, when he said I should go and live my life and enjoy my life because brain does stuff sometimes. I wasn't really self-aware enough and hadn't really grokked the extent of the issue, and certainly hadn't admitted it to myself enough at the time to understand in real time that was why I took that so amiss. But the more I've thought about it, the more I've come to understand that that's probably why. With all of the various new and charming and absolutely fucking delightful things that I'm dealing with, in addition to every fucked up thing I already had going on, because, you know, if there's one thing the universe loves, it's to throw new problems at us poor unfortunate souls who've already got problems enough to spare and plenty, and just say, here, have, free gift with purchase, gratis for nothing, and you're welcome. It's fucking annoying. And look, I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend I've got it as bad as everybody else or anybody else. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend that it's not been hard. And there's a level at which recognizing that some people have it worse than I, it is just, it's a good reminder, but it's only so helpful as far as it goes. And I'm just not happy about this. I mean, at one level, I thank whatever gods may be that I've sort of been in the... that my brand all along has just sort of been stream of consciousness. You know, starting with the first episode of Improv Bible Study. It's just been, you know, free form, free verse, free thought, whatever. It's probably why Big Green Hat interviews never really went anywhere, because I never... the times when I tried anything more structured, it just wasn't me, and it just didn't work. Anyway. So at least it hasn't measurably impacted the quality of the material I put out in whatever form and format. It just, it has significantly impacted the quantity, as some of you may have noticed. And I know that at one level, this entire podcast is a little poor me and a little navel gaze-y. On the other hand, awareness is important. There's entire constellations of experience that I would never have known existed had we not been both blessed and cursed to live in an era when anybody can get on virtually any device and tell their story. That's how a lot of us weirdos have found each other. It certainly helped me. It helped me back in LiveJournal days, before I really realized what depression was, that it's serious, and that it can really just generally fuck your shit up. Finding people with similar and or shared experiences helps. At least it has helped me. And if my ranting and rambling and sharing such story as I have helps anybody else just to feel less alone, then that's... I've done my job. That's... But, oh my goodness, this just sort of generally sucks. I don't like any of this. I don't like the depression, or the anxiety, or the eating disorder, or the brain fog, or the functional absence of sense of taste, or the dysphoria, or the general body image issues, or the anything. It all just sucks. Can I get an amen? That was a pause between thoughts, not a pause for the actual shouting amen, but I know somebody out there just did it, and thank you. Hail, fellow, well met. Oh, God. So anyway, that's the update. What's the Scott Walker line? The good news is there is no bad news. The bad news is there is no news. Whatever that line is. Oh my goodness. At another level, and on a slightly different note, I am very fortunate. in another lifetime, I would have said blessed. But I'm very fortunate in that I myself personally have a pretty damn good support system. Between people I only know online whose real life voices or faces I probably wouldn't recognize, to people I know in real life and have for many, many years. Reach out to your loved ones. Check in on your loved ones, especially the ones you just kind of assume are okay because they don't bellyache as much as you think you would in their situation. My partner likes to tell me that I'm not a complainer. And she knows I've got this podcast. I don't... We may have different definitions of complaining. I don't know. Love you. I'm only good at expressing myself about stuff that doesn't particularly matter, if that makes any sense. I can wax poetic endless about, my favorite works of fiction, about movies, about fish keeping, about, just... But in terms of talking about me, I don't really... I have a lot of trouble seeing that as something that matters. And so I'm not good at communicating about it. I'm trying to get better about that. I'm trying to get more communicative with my nearest and dearest, and this peculiar little project has kind of helped me with that. It's been a long last year or so, and it has been for all of us, y'all. This has been a rough go for all of us. Everybody I know has had to deal with some spectacularly unpleasant stuff. It's been a shit year. Everything from the economy to the pandemic to everything has sucked for a long time. And it has for everyone. And I think sometimes we don't acknowledge that enough. The vast, vast majority of everything has absolutely stunk for a couple of years. For everyone. For some people more than others, yes, but oh my God, the whole world has kind of blown for a significant amount of time now. And sometimes I think we writ large and as a species just sort of try to ignore him and he'll stop about the universe. Well, y'all, the universe is not a playground bully. The universe don't fucking care about you. Sorry to be the bearer of bad tidings, but it doesn't. I say at the beginning of every podcast, manic, depressive, non-binary atheist. Well, here's the atheist bit. Ain't nobody looking out for us. The sparrow falls from the nest and nobody notices. And if ever there was a time in living memory that has hammered that home, it's been about the last half decade. Shit happens. So it's okay, I remind myself, to have a hard time dealing with it. With it all. And if you got anything in particular that's fucking your shit up on top of everything else, that's fucking everybody's shit up, it just makes it harder. This is not a good time. Okay, well, that was... Does it count as a digression if it's sort of what we were building to all along? Maybe this entire episode is a digression. I don't know. Yes, that was in fact a pause for coffee. Oof, and the coffee was cold. Bull. Ugh. Okay. So, to circle back. Yes, brain fog. Brain fog sucks. And like a lot of other shit, I did not really grok just how much it sucks until I had it. Ah, the eternal refrain of humanity. This is going to be one of my... Anyway. This episode has gone on too long already. If you're still with me at this point in the episode, 28 minutes and 27 seconds, if you're still hanging around here, you're either entirely too invested, or you put it on before you started driving and you hadn't got to your destination yet, and you're being responsible and not fucking around with your phone while you're on the road. If the latter, congratulations, you're doing it right. If the former, oh my goodness, you need a life. I mean, thank you for being here and thank you for caring, but my stars. Nothing special about me. I'm just some nobody blathering about whatever comes to mind. On that beautiful and uplifting note, I think we'll wrap here for the day. At WRAP, don't worry, I'm not about to start freestyling. If you're having a hard time, remember it's okay. In fact, it is good to reach out. If you're having a good time, it's okay to celebrate that. And whether you're having a good time or a bad time, check in with your loved ones. Because if you're having a good time, they want to know and they want to celebrate that for you. And if you're having a bad time, even if there's nothing they can do, they'll want to know. Since I've been stealing folks' catchphrases lately, I'm going to do it again here for just a second. Sorry, Ed. Love you, buddy. But take care of yourselves. Try and take care of each other. And stand against hate. We'll see you again soon. Whatever that means on this channel. Be safe out there, y'all. God. First takes only. Sweet Jesus. Fuck.